continue, and yes, звук and the slides. And we stopped with the slide, the questions, and so we've discussed 4 questions, and Ardak was speaking about question number 5. Ardak, will you repeat what you said?
Number 5, yes. Should I include my statistics? So she should include the test name, p-value in parentheses. So
Ocean says, so one mistake people often make is to use whole sentence to talk about the statistics. So anyway, she should include the statistics. Yes. Okay. So this is the description of the main part of the scientific paper of Noir's thesis paper, and so where she writes about her findings and the results of the experiment.
7.
And so here we are going to read some descriptions of visuals. So on this slide you can see 4 graphs that Noir has prepared. So graphs, actually 2 graphs, they are bar charts. Bar chart graph number 1 and graph number 2, and you can see different data which is given here. So the data, each bar represents some kind of unit which was investigated in the experiment in the paper, and the abbreviations are used here because they should be used on the graphs, like to make it concise. And graphs number 3 and graph number 4, they represent linear graphs. And they also, I don't see what is given on the x-axis, but I can see temperature. The temperature, this is what is given the y-axis. Do you see? And so the corresponding process is marked on each graph. So 4 graphs, and now we are going to read so only description of 2 of them, and we should understand which graph is described. So let us read the 2 extracts A and B from Noir's paper. Which graphs are described in extracts A and B. So let us listen to Duman. Read it, please.
The salt K or the OG and the CAT total and the state-dependent GPX activities, and the lipid purification, oxidation, shown as a percentage of unexposed yields of B Asparagus, as shown in Figure 1. Calcium exposed caused a significant inhibition of the cytosolic and the mitochondrial, and the SAPs and the total glutathione peroxidase activities ANOVA P less than 0.05, while no significant changes in depend glutathione peroxidase was seen.
So which graph is described here?
Can you show first image? Two, second one.
Well, so we should understand something. This is показан some kind of activity shown as a percentage of unexposed gills. Показан в соотношении в процентах к тем показателям, которые не подверглись там влиянию каких-то энзимов. They are shown in figure 1. And CD exposure, this is kind of negative factor which influences negatively to the object, caused a significant inhibition. Inhibition here is has the meaning of подавленность, торможение. So this is a kind of negative process, right? So, and the decrease of something, some kind of negative process. And where do we see the deterioration of all the data? Which graph shows deterioration, which goes below 0?
First and second one? No?
So actually, if we compare the first and the second, so the deterioration on which slide is more? So the negative process that goes below 0 is
The first one.
in the first graph, yes. So actually, this is the graph which is described in A extract. Okay, and so we can look at B extract, and let us listen to Ardak. Read it, please.
Elevated temperature changed. What do you say?
H2S.
Just H2S uptake in the 3 species tested differently. Figure 3A. As temperature increased, H2S uptake in Alviniconcha.
Mhm.
What is this?
SP.
Or
SP.
SP decreased, but stays high at the highest test temperature of 37 degrees. Alviniconcha SP clearly had the fastest consumption of H2S, consistently taking up 3-4 times the quantity per unit tissue compared with the other species. For Nautili, H2S consumption also decreased as temperature increased. B, as Bravier showed a linear pattern of increasing consumption with temperature as high as 15 degrees. Regression analysis R squared is equal to 0.86. Higher temperatures were attempted with B, Bravier, but any exposure at those temperatures of a sufficient duration to obtain steady rates resulted in death.
So this is the experiment with the animals which are shown in these pictures. So they look like this or that. And yes, and which graph is described in B extract? So the information was about the correlation of some data with the temperature, right?
Yes.
So we are temperature given here in graphs 3 and 4. So and so 3 and 4.
The 3 or 4. I need to choose, yes,
Yes, you need to
between the 3 4. So just a minute.
make your choice. Yes.
So it's the figure 3.
Mhm. Figure 3. So yes, bingo. Actually, all right, because so so the values they change. There is a decrease in some kind of data. So with as the temperature grows, yes, this is from
Yes.
0 up to 40 degrees shown, and so and it says that so the information is about the changes in the temperature and the consumption of some kind of data, which is given like here, Duman. And they are compared. And so there are 3 actually different animals. Their names are given in italics there. And all of them, they show the decrease in surviving ability, right? So with the temperature. So this is the example how we show some kind of experiment with the help of a graph. So and we were speaking about captions previously, and this is the example how we should describe what is shown in the graph. I mean that you should include graph, for example, in your paper, give it a caption, and you should also incorporate the description of this graph into the text of your thesis, like here. So are shown in figure 1, for example, here, yes? The same is, I don't see it actually. Yes, figure 3a, for example, is described here. So if you place any kind of graph, figure or table, if you use any kind of graph in your paper, you should write about this in the text of your paper. Well, and one more just quest is to match the underlined words and phrases in extracts A and B to a word or phrase with a similar meaning. So the first phrase, which we have here is affected. So which phrase in A or B has the same meaning? Affected.
Caused.
Caused. Affected. Where is caused?
Article A.
Exposure cause the significant. Cause is make it itself. This kind of act, and affected is experience some kind of influence. Affected. I think this is changed. Changed, affected. So okay. Anyway, so then there is the word are presented. Are presented. So when we speak about presented, are shown, yes, the passive voice, are presented, are shown. I mean, we can, these are similar, these are synonyms, and we can use both phrases, yes? So the next one, number 3, expressed at a proportion of. Expressed at a proportion of. When we speak about it,
Shown as a percentage of.
Думан, не хулиганьте. Is it Duman or Duman's brother? Little brother? Or little Duman? So anyway,
He's left.
You make it beautiful. You have colored the world. So,
This is so Duman.
Duman, nice.
He's left.
Duman, вы здесь?
He left.
Вот он
Oh, he's here.
Ой, извините, Апа, я нажал там, не выходило.
Okay, Duman. Number 4 is
Ничего не-
fell. Fell. So you know, fell, go
What?
down.
Падать?
Yes, go down. And here, what is the synonym for fell?
Wait. Decrease?
Decreased. Yes, here it is. So the next number 5 is had the greatest rate of H2S use. Has had the greatest rate. So
Increased or
the greatest
Oh.
rate.
Fastest?
can I see
Here it is.
had the fastest consumption of
Самое
H2S?
высокое потребление вот этого вещества. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So has the greatest consumption or had the greatest rate. Number 6, in comparison to,
Compared with
compared with,
Uh-huh.
the same word, but with different preposition, maybe a different structure of phrase or sentence. Okay, then produced.
Resulted in?
Any other? No.
Mm,
Produced. So when something happens, it just produced some kind of result.
Cost.
Caused, yes, caused here. То есть вызвал, produced or caused. So then number 8, led to. Привел к чему-то, привело к чему-то. Led to. Do we have led to?
inhibition?
Можете другой слайд показать? Resulted in.
Yes, this is resulted in. Led to resulted. В результате привел к чему-то, да? Then number 9, reduction in. Reduction, снижение, ухудшение.
Decreased.
So this is a new word for me. This is inhibition.
Inhibition.
Подавление. Подавление, торможение чего-то. То есть вот привело к подавлению каких-то факторов. The next one is number 10, remained at a higher level. Remained at a higher level. Remained at a higher level.
As high as?
Sorry. As high as stayed high. So stayed high. This is оставался высоким, да? So remained at a high level. Okay. Then number 11 is rose. Rise, rose, risen.
Increased.
Increased. Yes. So they are synonyms. Number 12 showed a linear relationship of линейная зависимость. Showed a linear relationship of
Showed a linear pattern.
linear pattern of. То есть взаимодействие. Relationship or pattern. Then number 13, up as high as 15 degrees Celsius. And So the next one is 14. Was
Was
observed.
observed.
Was observed.
That's it. Да? Наблюдался.
So was observed here.
Was seen.
Was seen.
Was seen.
Наблюдался. Yes, you're right. And the last one is what is it? Whereas no significant difference. Небольшой разницы. There is no significant difference. Here it is.
No significant change.
Difference or change. Yes, they're synonyms. Okay. Well, actually, so yes, the answers are given here. And the task, this is the second part of the task which I was speaking about. You should write a description of some visual data you are working on. I know that you don't describe any kind of experiment. You should invent an experiment which is connected with your paper, with your topic that you are writing the paper. I know, I remember that Aidana, for example, you are writing about nanosatellites, right? So maybe, I mean, the experiment is a comparison. In any kind of experiment, you compare some kind of data. You should think about what you can compare. Maybe the size of nanosatellites, maybe nanosatellites with just common satellites. So you should find some kind of data. Maybe as I see, you do not have this kind of experiment in your paper, but please think about something that you can describe and you can make a graph. So in the first task was to write, to sketch a graph and to write a caption to the graph, to the visual. And this task is to write the description of this visual, do you see? Or for example, Ardak, you are writing about STEM subjects, right?
I guess I know what I will be. I'm going to compare. It will be maybe the comparison between the numbers of students that are now studying STEM education, the present days and before.
Great, great. So first there should be a graph, some bar chart, a linear graph. Okay, very good. And Duman, this is your paper about coding, right? Can you think of any, just any kind of data which can be compared and presented with the help of visual, like graph or chart?
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay, so
I'll try to find something.
You are a very inventive person, so please think about some kind of information that you can compare and present it. So, well, the task consists of two parts, like the video itself with a caption, the caption which is given like in following the rules that we were speaking about today. And then you should write a short paragraph that describes this visual using the words which are given here, the words, these words and the synonyms, and following the description like here, which is given here on this slide. So I'll upload this presentation to the Moodle site and you'll have a chance to have a look at the presentation. Or anyway, this information is given in the book and you also have the digital version of the book on Moodle site. You have it, and you can have a look at these stories, these texts, and invent something personal which has something in common, which is can be applied to your research, to your thesis paper. Do you see? Well, and so we are going to